righty, good morning ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining me now on the second session. Today what we're going to be looking at is DewPoint's products, and if you are watching this video in the future, you will see that it'll have chapter divides in it, and you can hop ahead to the product that you want to look at. And if you want to know how to add a product, simply hop along to the very end. I think it'll be one of the very last chapters which will show you how to add a product. Can help you skip ahead through this. But if you have no idea about DewPoint's products, then this video is going to give you a nice summary of all the products we currently have. The rest of the details you'll be able to extract from our web pages. Jump onto each individual product's web page and you'll be able to see the details there. All right, so first of all, we need to start by answering the question, why products at DewPoint? If DewPoint is in the business of producing income, why do we have to have this layer of financial services and other products as well? Where does this come in? And for many people, they join as wealth engineers alone and never quite get why there are these other products hanging in the background. Well, I want to answer that question for you this morning, and I want to get you really, really solid with what it is. So DewPoint has a number of objectives. Most of you know these objectives because we talk about them in the introduction presentations, but primarily our objective is to create proper, reliable monthly income in South Africans' hands. We want it to be asset-based, we want it to be permanent, we want it to be intergenerational. Great. That is one of our objectives. Our other objective is to reduce and eliminate debt in the hands of South Africans. We're completely over-indebted in South Africa. We're always buying things we don't have the money for. And we put ourselves into a position where for our entire lives we're paying people back. We want to eliminate that by producing in DewPoint income for South Africans. That means that they can buy the stuff they can afford instead of having to use other people's money to buy it. That's secondary objective. But our tertiary objective is to protect South Africans from what we call shock loss. We spoke about it a bit in the introduction presentation. Shock loss, ladies and gentlemen, is where something occurs in your life that completely shakes your life. A loss of a spouse, a family member. We know how expensive funerals are. Getting sick, getting injured, dying, creating shock loss for your family, your children that are left behind without a breadwinner or a parent. Think about all these things. If you have a motor vehicle, damage to the vehicle that you cannot afford to repair, etc., etc. And we're going to be looking at these in particular with our different products. But we need to protect South Africans because it is in those moments that we become impoverished. Think about it. If you've got to pay for a funeral and they need 25,000 Rand or 50,000 Rand from you, it drives you into poverty. You have to then go and take out debt to pay for it. You know, if you become injured, and we've got lots of examples of this quite recently, people being involved in car accidents, etc., you become injured, you can't work, you've lost your income. You are impoverished. And so we want to prevent people from this. And people don't, it's one of the things that people struggle to understand with insurance. We have individuals say, well, I'm not growing my channel, so my payment for my product is just a waste of my money. We get that at least once a month, someone calling in and saying the payment for my product is a waste of money because I haven't yet broken my leg. I haven't yet died. Someone in my family hasn't died, so I'm wasting my money. No, it is a payment that prevents shock loss, that places you back into poverty. That is what your payment is. And so our products form part of that third line, but can touch on the second objective as well. Because like I've said, if somebody dies, you've got to take out money from a loan. You have to borrow it in order to pay for the funeral or pay for the medical or to pay for the whatever. So we prevent both objective 2 and 3 with our products. Important to keep that in mind as we progress. Currently, we have 8 products that are available. In the future, we may have more. This video in particular will cover just these 8 products today. These 8 products make up a myriad of different kinds of insurance, covering a whole range of risks to prevent shock loss in numerous situations. The first one, AccessWealth. One of our very first products, we took it out we launched it in July of 2016. All the way back then. Do you remember those happy days? Do you remember when we got to the end of 2016, we were all like, that was the worst year ever. Oh my word, I'm glad 2016's over. And we're in 2017. I remember that. Go and like YouTube people talking about the end of 2016. Boy, did we not know what was coming. Anyway, all right, the next product, AutoGuru, is in fact our latest product. So we've gone from one of our oldest to one of our newest. AutoGuru was launched this year in 2022. And it is a vehicle service-based product. If you have a vehicle, it covers a whole range of the huge inconveniences and difficulties in South Africa, and it improves them all, helps you out. We've had a couple of beautiful examples lately. I'll give you some just now that really make life worth living in South Africa if you've got the AutoGuru product. Our funeral cover is called FamilyWealth, the FamilyWealth plan at DewPoint, and it is, I think, the best funeral cover in the country. That's my personal bias, although I feel like it's objectively based. And it allows you, obviously, to get funeral cover for yourself and your family. We have HeritageLife, which is our life insurance product, giving you a range from 250,000 to 5 million rands worth of life insurance that you can purchase for yourself and give yourself a legacy for your family. The next product we got is LegalGuard. This is our legal indemnity insurance. This covers the costs of lawyers for you, and we're going to dive into that a little bit later, up to 250,000 Rand per matter. Per matter, not per annum, it's per matter that you get with that one. We've got our MotoMedic mechanical warranty. That's for when your vehicle breaks down. It's there to assist you and prevent shock loss in that scenario. Then we have our primary healthcare product, which is our medical product that's there to help those of you who don't have medical aid. You can get it with medical aid as well, and I'll explain that just now as well. But it's there to assist you with your day-to-day medications and shock loss from accident hospitalization. And we'll talk about that a little bit further now in a minute. And then we've got WealthGuard. WealthGuard is our big primary personal accident cover product, giving you up to 1 million rands worth of personal accident cover. We're going to talk about why we designed that product and how it suits you. So as I said at the beginning, if you want to jump to the explanation of any one of these products, just simply use the chapter headings at the bottom and skip to that video. Skip to that part of the video and you'll get a brief explanation, all the details you need. Folks, to find our products at any point in time, simply jump onto our website. You'll see in our introduction presentations that we don't spend a lot of time on it, but we spend lots of time on it in our website. All you need to do is click the products button at the top. It'll give you the list of all of our products, and then simply select the product you wish to look at. If you want to look at all of them, just go page by page by page through them. As you open up any of the product pages, you're going to see on each page that it's got 3 menu buttons on it. It's got the short 60-second video. This is a quick promotional video that we do on why you want this product and what it does quickly. And then we do the full review. This will be me. I take as long as it takes to work through all the benefits, all the conditions, all the exclusions, and all the waiting periods, everything you need to know about every single product. So if you've got the time, these videos range from 6 minutes to 26 minutes. And they will give you every detail. Particularly if you battle to read or don't want to read, the full review video is there to give you all the details on the product. You will also be able to find a fact sheet, which I think you can click the Get Covered button if you want to immediately jump to the application form and purchase this product. Alternatively, if you scroll down, which is something people struggle to realize on all of our web pages, just scroll and you'll find more information. As you scroll down, you will find our fact sheet on every product. This is a summary of the terms and conditions, waiting periods, etc. of every product, because it's a nice, this is what the product does in written format for you. And if you keep scrolling down, you will get at the very bottom of every product an FAQ section that has got all the most commonly asked questions for each product. So you may have a question. Does it cover me for this? What's the waiting period? You can simply scroll to the bottom, run through the questions, select the question, and the answer will reveal itself for each one of them. As a last resort, jump into the DewPoint app, go to Tools, select Products or FAQs, and under each one you will find a video FAQ session I've done on every single product. And in there, sometimes we've answered as many as 180 questions in those sessions. So you've got all of this at your fingertips to understand our products. You get full. So we have people that call into the client service and say, explain the product. My ladies are not going to do that. They handle up to 130 phone calls a day. About 128, I think, is our average. They are not going to explain the products to you. That's what the website is for, and all of the videos are for. Jump onto the website, products, and you can do that for every single one of them. Okay, and there's more FAQs even at the very bottom that you can select. So let's hop into the products. Our first product is our AccessWealth plan. The AccessWealth plan, as I say, was a plan that was developed back in 2016, and it was specifically designed to meet our objectives. The three of them: one was create income for South Africans. That's in this product. 2, reduce debt. That's going to be in this product. And 3, prevent shock loss. We're going to put that in this product as well. It was, in fact, designed in conjunction with WealthGuard. And we're going to get to WealthGuard in a minute. But the two of them were designed together and should, in fact, be purchased together. You can buy them separately, but you should be purchasing them together. And this is why now. Our AccessWealth plan was designed with a tax-free investment account product in it and a personal accident cover product in it. The tax-free investment account allows you to invest between 100 and 2,500 Rand a month into your tax-free account. Now, what is a tax-free account, ladies and gentlemen? It is an investment account that allows you to put money in that then gets invested into the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. You effectively become a shareholder in the major businesses of South Africa. Okay? So we talk about how people are like, no, we need to get South Africans into the economy. This is one of the ways we get people into the economy, by allowing you to invest into the major companies of South Africa. This is not a bank account. You do not get interest on it. Okay? A tax-free investment account is a special account that was designed quite recently in terms of new regulation that allowed for investment accounts that SARS would not charge you tax on. Now let's take a look at that a little bit further. The tax-free returns on your tax-free investment account are made up of, first of all, when you purchase shares in a business, the value of those shares move, generally on an upward trend. There are exceptions, but generally there's a slow upward trend. The difference between what you bought the share at, maybe you bought it at 5 Rand, and later on when you sell it at 10 Rand, you've made 5 Rand profit on that share, is not taxed. Normally it's taxed under capital gains tax. But in terms of the tax-free regulation on these specific accounts, there's no taxation on it. That means you get the full gain. The second thing is that dividends come to you now. What is a dividend? Well, big businesses that make profits at the end of each year share a percentage of that profit to all their shareholders. Now, you're a shareholder. You may only have one share in that business, but they've got to give you a piece of that profit that they're distributing. That then goes back into your tax-free investment account, and the managers of this, which is Prime Investment Collective Schemes and Conduit Capital, who are the hedge fund managers on these accounts, take the dividend and reinvest it, which means they're going to buy more shares. So you'll find you put in 5 Rand, after a few years it's 10 Rand, but it's actually grown to 15 Rand because the share price has changed and they've bought more shares with the dividends that have come through. So you get this double whammy growth effect on these investments, and all of it's tax-free. You're not paying tax on any of it. If it was a bank account, you'd be paying tax on your interest. Did you know that interest is taxable in South Africa? That's how they encourage us to save. They encourage us to save by saying the more you save, the more interest you get, the more tax we'll charge you. I kid you not. All right? Just really the ridiculousness of the economic knowledge. Anyway, so you don't get taxed on our tax-free investment account. So, does it make money? Well, now I can answer the question, because I took it out in 2016 as we launched it. We always talk about the fact that investments are medium to long term. They're not bank accounts. They're not transactional. You don't put money in to take it out. And what do we see happening? People, they put their 100 Rand in, then we get a phone call, please withdraw my 100 Rand. And we withdraw the 100 Rand. Now they've got 0 invested. Then they say, please then they put their 100 Rand in, and then the next month, please. And then 5 or 6 months down, they say, how much is in my investment account? And the ladies go, you haven't got anything. I've been paying 349 Rand a month. And you go, yes, but you've been withdrawing your 100 Rand every single month. Why are you surprised? No, this is a scam. No, it's not. This is a medium to long-term investment account. So you put your money in To save. How many of you are saving? Yes, a handful. That's right, 5 of you in this whole room. Okay, good. It's not to be withdrawn. Yes, you can withdraw it at any time. There's no fees, there's no charges against it, but it is to save. One of our objectives, create income and reduce debt. Do you remember them? We can only do that if we start saving. That's why we created the AccessWealth. You don't have to do 100 Rand a month. You can do anything up to 2,500 Rand. You just adjust it in the app. In the app, you can adjust it up and you can adjust it down month on month. Okay? We don't charge you any more. There's no extra. You choose how much you want to put into your tax-free investment account as a saving. But is it better than taking your money and putting it into a bank account? That's the question. Is it better than putting it into your bank account? Well, I asked myself that question. So I took the product out in July 2016, but I only put 100 Rand in. 100 Rand in every single month. I've now done it for 76 months. That's 7,600 Rand. I've put in over just under 7 years, okay? About 6 years, 6.5 years. 76 months of me putting that 100 Rand in, 7,600 Rand. So I pulled my balance. I pulled it on Thursday, and the balance is 11,000 Rand. Okay, now hang on. I only put 7,600 Rand in. So what is the 11,000 Rand? So I did the maths on it. It's just over 6% per annum. So I am earning 6% in gain on that money per annum. Now you're going 6%? Right. Who of you have been getting 6% on your money for the last 7 years? Who of you have been doing it? Yeah, Lynette has through AccessWealth. All right, let's look at it. What do we know? In the last 7 years, interest rates have been crushed. They've just come back up just recently. But interest rates have been crushed down to the smallest amount I know in my history. I remember 1998, 1997, the interest rate hit 20%. Do you remember that? It was 20%. I remember because it was crazy. This year, at its bottom, it was sitting at about 3%. Okay? So if you had your money in a bank account and you had it on a fixed deposit, which means you don't get to withdraw your money. 3 months, 6 months, 1 year fixed deposit, or you had over 100,000 Rand and you had one of these like money maximizer accounts, you were getting 3% on your money. That's what you're getting. 3. And do you remember what you have to do with interest? You have to pay tax on it. So you're not getting 3%, you're getting 3% less your tax rate, which for most people is now between 30 and 40%. So you get 2%. You're getting 2%. What was we getting here at AccessWealth? 6%. That's triple. That's 300% more than if I'd put my money in the bank account. At its peak in the last 6 years, interest on the money maximizer accounts and the fixed deposits was 5.5%. At its peak in the last 7 years. So even at its peak, I was getting 0.5% more tax-free because 5.5% less your 30 to 40% in tax means that you weren't getting 5.5%, you're getting like 4%. And I was still getting over 6%. Tax-free in AccessWealth. So if you want to start saving some money, put it into the AccessWealth account. That's what it's there for. That's what it's there for. And it's tax-free. You can invest up to 500,000 Rand, which is going to take you a long time at 2,500 Rand a month, even longer at 100 Rand a month. So you can just keep putting it in. Maybe 1,000 Rand a month. Don't put the minimum in. I mean, it's taken 7 years to get to 11,000 bucks, you know. That's not savings. But if I put 1,000 Rand in, I'd be on 110,000 now. You know, at 1,000 bucks a month. Just putting it in. And I know that when I withdraw it, there's no tax. That's the first one. The second part is 125,000 Rands worth of personal accident cover. Why did we put that in? People are like, I just want the tax-free, I don't want the other one. Well, you can't get it. We put the two together for a very specific reason. The reason is, what happens if you pass away? What do your family get? No, I'm not worried about my family. Well, you should be, because we're trying to break the poverty cycle. And not worrying about your children says that you don't care about the poverty cycle in your family. We need to break it. If you pass away, your family lose a breadwinner. Your children, whoever you're looking after in your family, are now shock loss, impoverished. Impoverished overnight. So we said that if you pass away, your investment is unlikely to have accumulated yet to being enough to be able to solve their financial situation now that you're gone. So we will boost it by 125,000 Rand. Your family now get the investment you've been building and 125,000 Rand, not funeral cover 25,000 Rand. Not that. That doesn't help anybody. That pays for your funeral and the money's gone. 125,000 Rand. It means that school fees for your children are now paid. Maybe part of the debts you owed are now paid so that they don't have to. Food on the table for them so they can keep eating. Clothes on their back. That's why we don't split these two. Because this is the shock loss protector at the bottom. How much do you pay for AccessWealth? Well, jump onto the web page and see what the latest price is. It's negligible. And you've got yourself a savings account that has outperformed everything in an economy that's been dying over the last 7 years. It's been producing 6% per annum. That's incredible. And you've got that. Use it. Use it. If you're a wealth engineer and you haven't got a product, start building some tax. Okay, let's start building some income. So I did a quick just calculation for you here. If you want to see 100 Rand a month for 10 years, you'll have put 12,000 Rand in. Now we can multiply that by 6%. That's the average it's been till now. It might change. It might be worse. It might be more. Remember, the stock exchange is always moving up and down. And so it might be up, it might be down. You need to just, be contributing. But if we get rid of all the fluctuation of dividends and growth, it's 12,000 bucks. But if you put 2,500 Rand in a month, and you do that over time, after 10 years, you'll have 300,000 Rand without any capital gain, without any dividends, without any upping or downings. 300,000. This here changes lives. Imagine if for the next 10 years, you just take 2,500 Rand every month and just put it away. You don't withdraw it, just put it away. And 10 years from now, you've got 300,000 bucks to buy a car, to put a deposit down on a house, to pay for a holiday. Maybe you get sick, maybe you have an accident, to pay for the medical bills. It's there. This is without any of the share price movement or dividends. That's just your contribution. Start thinking about changing your financial future. AccessWealth is there to do that for you. Okay, let's hop on to WealthGuard. WealthGuard is built in conjunction with AccessWealth because it's there to hit that third objective, the shock loss number. 125,000 might not be enough. It might not be enough for you and your family. You might lose your house as a result of you dying. You pass away, you've got a bond on your house, and your children are now on the street. Your partner's on the street. Maybe granny that you were looking after is on the street because you don't have enough money. The 125,000 in your investment doesn't cover it. So WealthGuard then adds 1 million Rand to it. It adds 1 million Rand to it. So now if you have AccessWealth and WealthGuard and you pass away, they get your investment value, they get the 125,000, and they get 1 million Rand. This is massive. This is absolutely massive. It will settle your bond on your house. It'll pay for your kids to go to school all the way through university. It'll put food on the table and clothes on their back until they're ready to earn for themselves. That's what 1 million Rand does, and it's a couple hundred Rand a month. But I think more importantly as well, and something that people should understand, is that many South Africans can't get life insurance. They can't, because life insurance insists on you being healthy and young to be covered. So if you've got high blood pressure, sugar diabetes, cancer, any STD, HIV, they don't give you life insurance. But with our personal accident cover, you can now have 1 million Rands worth of cover for literally something like 65%. In fact, I think it's more. It's like 68% of the causes of death in South Africa. So people go, no, I want cover for death via illness. But only about 32% of people are dying from illness. The rest are dying from accidents. You don't have to believe me. Go into Stats SA. Go into Stats SA and go and watch. Go and read. You will see. In fact, since I think they said since 2008, in fact, we've seen a massive increase in the death via accidents. Have you guys been watching what's been going on the roads? Hey? Have you? Just drive. Deaths on the roads are going through the roof. People are driving drunk and unlicensed. And they're killing tens of thousands of people a year. People die from accidents. You know what else is an accidental cause? An accidental cause of death is an external force against your body that kills you. Hijackings, murders, muggings, all of these sorts of things. Those have been going on in South Africa like crazy. Do you know that Cape Town was nominated the 5th best city in the world? It would have been the first, they say this, it would have been the first except for the murder rate. The murder rate in Cape Town is so high, it knocked Cape Town down 5 positions. Just the murder rate. If it were not for the murder rate, Cape Town would be the best city in the world to live in. Even with Eskom. Eskom didn't even knock it down a position, but the murder rate did. People say to me, Brendan, I only want cover if it'll cover me for illness. I go, you have no idea what you're saying. You have like a 68% chance of dying from an accident. And they go, no, but I need illness. And I go, okay, have you got life insurance? No, they rejected me. All right, so you're rejected for 32% of deaths. Would you like to be covered for 68% of deaths? Literally a couple $100,000, and you've got AccessWealth, WealthGuard plan that gives you R1 million if you die. Now, we've already had claims that have gone out on WealthGuard and changed people's lives. We've had a young man his dad had already died a couple of years ago, and his mom took out the WealthGuard for herself, making her son the beneficiary. He was still at school, and he was 17 when she died in a car accident. He received R1 million. That R1 million was put into trust. It's paid for him to go to university now, and it's paid for him to go and work overseas. Have you got that R1 million? He didn't have to worry about where he was going to get his food from. He's an orphan. He's got no one to look after him. His grannies are all gone. It was just him, 17. He was able to pay for his food, pay for his clothes, get through university, and be able to get a job overseas. That's what that R1 million did for him. We have an older lady whose husband couldn't get life insurance, so he took out the WealthGuard policy, and he died in a terrible accident. He was a guy who worked with his hands, and he died when a machine cut him open, and he bled out. She got R1 million now. She's in her late 60s. She's got R1 million to retire on now. Now, I know the story's horrible, but she would have had nothing without WealthGuard. She would have had nothing because he couldn't get life insurance. He couldn't get it. But at the time, she was paying 269 Rand a month. She got R1 million that she can retire on now, having lost the income that her husband was producing. Are we thinking about this? Are we thinking about this? Or are we thinking about, no, I need to have a fancy funeral, so I'm just getting funeral cover? Or are we thinking about what happens after we're gone? That's what this does. If you can get life insurance, get it. Great. I think it's less than 10% of South Africans have life insurance. If you can't get life insurance, no exclusions, no medicals, no waiting periods, no nothing. Everybody can have WealthGuard. Everybody can have R1 million with a personal accident cover. And when you tie it in with AccessWealth, you are now saving every month, and you are leaving a legacy to your family. That's what those two products do for you. All righty. Obviously, we've got the normal exclusions on most of our products. We're not going to cover you if you do extreme sports or you're a professional sportsman or you do dangerous things. But you know what's really amazing about all of our products? They cover security guards that are on duty. Most, I would say 90% of insurance products in South Africa do not cover security guards while they're on duty. Obviously, we don't cover high-risk security guards like cash in transit and stuff like that. But your normal security guards, even while they're on duty, they're covered by all of our products. And we cover motorcyclists. Motorcyclists are almost never covered. Almost never covered. Go and look at insurance policies. We'll cover motorcyclists, even while they're riding their bikes. We don't do off-road bikes and stuff like that. If you want to kill yourself going over boulders, then that's totally up to you. We won't cover it. But if you're normally driving on normal roads, we will cover you there too. Incredible, incredible value and benefit for our products. Okay, so let's put those two together. AccessWealth and WealthGuard, you're sitting on 1.125 million rands with a personal accident cover like that. No underwriting, no do you have this, do you have that, do you have the next thing. Everyone can have them. If you've already purchased the FamilyWealth plan or are thinking about buying this product, then this video will get you up to full speed on all of its benefits, terms and conditions, waiting periods, and the disclosures you need to know. The FamilyWealth plan is a funeral plan that is underwritten by Santam Structured Life. It's a fully expandable funeral product that you can select different levels of cover for, starting at 20,000 Rand and ranging all the way up to 50,000 Rand. It, in its base premium, covers you, your spouse, and up to 5 children under 21 years of age. But you can add additional family members if you would like at an additional premium per family member. You can add as many as you like on this product, but you only pay for those that you add. The cover includes death via accident, illness, and natural causes, and all pre-existing conditions are covered as long as you've completed the waiting periods. It's whole life cover, which means that anyone between the age of 18 and 69 can take this product or be added to this product and be covered until the day they die, no matter how old they are when they pass away. Your purchased package has a fixed premium that is not dependent on your age. Only extended family members' premiums are calculated on their age and their gender. Suicide is even covered as long as you've had 12 months of payments. You can see the entire list of the extended family members that you can add to the product on our application form. With regards to children, children will remain on your policy until they turn 21. After 21, you will be given 3 options on what to do with this child. Remember to select the option when you're completing the application form or contact our client service team before your child reaches 21 years of age. The 3 options you'll be given is either that your child is added as an extended family member to your base plan when they turn 21. In other words, a premium based on their age and gender will be calculated and added to your monthly premium. Alternatively, a child can take out their own FamilyWealth plan as a standalone policyholder, or you can choose for them to fall away and not be covered anymore by your funeral plan. The policy's funeral benefits are reduced where children are under the age of 14. This is a legislated requirement. If your child is loaded to your policy and is under the age of 14, the 20,000 or 30 or 40 or 50,000 Rand cover that you've selected will be reduced based on their age. You can see the table of those reductions in your policy document. Critically important is that you understand the difference between a beneficiary and a nominated dependent extended family member. Every policy needs a beneficiary loaded to it. That's the person that's going to receive the cover benefit when you pass away. So if we use an example of you taking 20,000 Rands worth of cover, when you pass away, your beneficiary will receive that 20,000 Rand. Perhaps it's a child of yours, perhaps it's your spouse. Make sure you load your beneficiary onto your policy, either during the application form or through the app or client services at a later stage. An extended, dependent, or nominated family member is the individuals you've loaded to your policy who you will receive the cover benefit for when they pass away. So again, using the 20,000 Rand example, if say your spouse is loaded as a dependent or an extended family member on your policy and they pass away, you now receive the 20,000 Rand cover for the policy. Again, make sure that you've loaded your nominated or your dependent extended family members to your policy as soon as is possible. Otherwise, they will not be under cover in our policy. You can do this through the application form, through our phone app, or by contacting client service. Do it ASAP so that everyone is always under cover. With regards to your extended family members, the ones you load to your policy, any number can be loaded to each policy. However, for each family member, an individual premium will be calculated based on their age and their gender. This will be added to your monthly debit order. Please note that you only have 3 months after you have completed the application form for the policy in which to add your extended nominated family members. After such time, you will not be able to add or replace any more family members. The only individuals that you can add at a later stage after the 3-month period is a new spouse or a new child born to you. In terms of current regulation, we are required to receive proof of the relationship you have with any extended family member you add to your policy. Now, proof of relationship requires you to supply one or more of the following and any additional information that DewPoint requests of you. Either an unabridged marriage certificate, an unabridged birth certificate, or both, or a police affidavit where you have included a detailed family tree demonstrating your relationship to that individual. Remember, only blood relatives can be added to the policy. So you cannot put just anyone on your policy. You need to demonstrate to the insurer that this individual is a blood relative of yours. So if you do not have access to the marriage and birth certificates, a detailed family tree needs to be included with the affidavit. You can upload all of this data, all of these documents, via our client service email address, info@dewpoint.net, or our phone app. Until such time as you have provided suitable proof of relationship, you will not enjoy the benefits of the cover of these extended family members. So again, make sure you supply the documentation as soon as you can after you've applied for the product. So what is excluded from the FamilyWealth plan? Well, suicide within 12 months of taking the product out with us, any deliberate or excessive drinking or use of alcohol or drugs or poisons, naturally, it's going to exclude you from cover. Any contravention of law that results in your death will be excluded, or the death of your extended family members. Obviously, normal terms and conditions of most insurance products, war, invasion, terrorism, etc., will exclude you and your extended family members from cover. And any willful exposure of yours to danger. What does this include? Driving without a seatbelt, driving at excessive speeds, bungee jumping, parachuting. Anything that puts you at excessive risk excludes you and your family members from cover. And of course, refusal to receive medical treatment when it's required will also exclude you or your family members from cover. For the full list of these kinds of exclusions, please take a detailed look at your policy document. Waiting periods on the product are quite simple. You will have cover for accidental death after your first payment. After 6 payments, you will be under cover for illness and natural causes. And after 12 payments, you'll be covered and your family members for suicide. Please remember to load your beneficiary. As I said earlier, beneficiaries can be loaded either on the application form or through our app. In terms of required regulations these days, we will need an ID or passport number, a contact number, and an address for your beneficiary. And we will need proof of the ID, passport, and proof of address of the beneficiary. Please ensure that you load these up either via the application form, our phone app, or client service as soon as possible. Do not wait until it's too late. On screen now, you can see the current prices in 2023. These may well have changed. If you are watching this video after 2023, please refer to our application form and our website for the latest prices per cover package. Remember, for every additional extended family member that you add, the premium will increase based on that extended family member's age and gender. For any queries, claims, or questions around compliance, please refer to your policy document. You'll see full procedures and details in there. Alternatively, you can contact our client service team on info@dewpoint.net or on 010-020-4500. Okay, so where do you find your products, the FamilyWealth plan, in your phone app with DewPoint? Well, open up and log into your app, and then select the burger menu item. You'll see that icon. It's at the top left-hand corner. It's the 3 white lines. Click on it, and it will open up the menu section of the app. In the menu section of the app, you'll find the My Products section, and in My Products, you will find listed all the products you have taken via the DewPoint portal. Select the FamilyWealth plan, And it will open up into the Family Wealth Plans menu, where you will be able to see not only the documentation, your policy document, but also your dependents and your beneficiaries. And you will be given the ability to add a beneficiary and add a dependent. Select the button of what you would like to do and fill out the details of the menu that loads from that page. Once you've completed those details, make sure you click the Save button at the bottom in order to receive an updated schedule with your extended family members or your beneficiary details listed. If you have not received that schedule, please contact our client service team ASAP. With regard to the payment of your premiums, obviously, to remain under cover, it's critical that you pay every single month. Missed premiums can reset your waiting periods and may also result in you not having cover. So ensure that every month your most important payment is your premium payment. Cover will only commence after your first payment, where you reinstate the product at a later date. Cover again will only start once you have made your first payment. Waiting periods only commence once you've made your first payment and only are completed once all payments have been made. Remember as well that when you add family members, those family members will have to commence their own waiting periods. That means that once they've been added, only after the first payment for that individual will the waiting periods commence. Not from the point that you add them, but from the point you pay for them. Make sure you get that right. For all the regulatory disclosures with regards to this product and the underwriting insurer, look through your policy document. You know where to find it in your app, but you can also contact our client service team if you need another copy. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Family Wealth Plan. You can add it via your app, or you can purchase it through our application form. LegalGuard. LegalGuard. 250,000 rands worth of legal indemnity insurance, okay? 250,000 rands with legal. What does that mean? When you've got legal access, that's the daily benefit service that you get for being an enterprise owner, it's lawyers at the end of the phone. This product puts lawyers in the room with you. If you need to go to the CCMA, if you need to go to court, if you're stuck in prison, whatever it might be, you now have a lawyer in your presence. Up to R250,000. Now, we've watched all of these American movies where it's millions of rands of legal fees. It's not the same in South Africa. I spoke to the legal guardians who administer this, and they run the panel of lawyers on this, and they said the most expensive case they've ever done cost 189,000 rand in legal fees. So effectively, you've got more cover here than you are ever going to need. And they do everything for you. They do everything for you in that case. And they are incredible. We have loads of cases of people writing and talking about how incredible Legal Guardians has been in solving their issues, from rental issues, contract issues, all sorts, even helping with things like sequestration, which is not even one of their listed benefits, but they've helped people with sequestration. It's incredible the work they do. 250,000 bucks where they're having lawyers in the room with you. It gives you 24 hours, 365 days, anywhere in the nation access to these lawyers, so that you can call them in emergencies and they're available to you. Okay? Cover starts immediately after the first premium. There's no waiting periods on LegalGuard. Pay one premium, 250 grand, ready for you. Per matter. Per matter. That means if you get arrested 3 times in the year, I think there's probably a greater problem, but nonetheless, they will cover you 250,000 bucks per matter. Maybe you've got 3 different things that happen in the year. Each matter, you get 250,000 rands worth of cover for. Absolutely incredible. And of course, anybody can have it, and it's forever. You can take it if you're 105 years old, or you can take it if you're 19 years old. There's no any of that. Anybody can have our legal indemnity cover. Here's a list of some of the things they cover. It's hard to quantify it because there's so many different variations. But here's just some of the things that they cover. Legal representation at the CCMA. That's super common. How many of you have had a lawyer, a proper lawyer, in the room with you at a CCMA case? Now, I've done a couple of CCMA cases in the past, employees, etc., and there's no lawyers in the room. I sit in the room, normally as a corporate. I got my corporate lawyers. And you sit in the room on your ace. And now you're fighting me and corporate lawyers. No. Now you're going to have legal guardians in the room with you. Now suddenly you've got lawyered up. How many people have sat in the CCMA without a lawyer? And now you've got one with LegalGuard. For literally a couple $100 a month, you now have a lawyer if you need to go to the CCMA case. Retrenchments. You're on your ace when you get retrenched. Now you've got a lawyer who can look at the contracts that you're being made to sign, can negotiate the packages that you get on retrenchment. You've got power now. You've got control and protection. Do you remember those things that I spoke about? Remember Rob says nobody is interested in control. You're interested in control when you don't have it. Now you can have control and protection with us. Arbitration, labor court matters, civil litigation, judgments against your name for debt. You can do divorce, but it's limited up to 15,000 Rand because I've spoken to the CEO there, JP, says it gets messy, as you can imagine. So they limit that one. It's the only one limited. Or recovery of damages, debt management. They'll help you with your debt management. So instead of having to go to a debt counselor and pay them, if you've got LegalGuard, they'll help you with your debt management as well. Isn't that amazing? Okay. And then they will actually draft contracts for you. So with Legal Access, they'll send you templates, pre-made templates. Okay. Then you can see. But here, they'll customize contracts for you. You want to get married. You need a will. You need all of it. They will custom make those contracts for you. All for a couple $100 a month. That's LegalGuard for you, ladies and gentlemen. And as a final cherry on the cake, they even give you trauma counseling. Sometimes you might have been involved in a hijacking, a robbery. My wife was hijacked in 2016 by the SAPS. Yeah, 4 of them with guns to her head, stole everything she had, sent her on her way. Fun times, eh? Fun times. Nonetheless, she was traumatized by that. It took her years to recover. You know, when the police are holding you up, then you are hijacking you. You know how traumatized you're going to be. And these guys will assist you. They will come and give you counseling. They will protect you. And they're duck oaks. I've seen these oaks. Duck. They will come in. They'll do witness protection for you. They will do, if there's any lineups that you need to go and identify, they will come and protect you and be with you. All in LegalGuard. All in there. That's what you've got. That's what you've got. All right, MediGuard, our primary healthcare insurance. Super, super important. Ticks on all of our objectives at Dew Point. What are we talking about? We're talking about creating income for South Africans and protecting that income and preventing shock loss. That's what this product does. For literally a couple $100 a month, you're able to get 90%. I used to say 80%, but I think it's actually closer to 90% of medical aid. This is not a medical aid product, ladies and gentlemen. But what it does cover you for is where you're spending your money. Where you're spending your money on medical expenses, that's where our MediGuard product comes in. It gives you access to over 3,000 medical practitioners around the country. Physios, doctors, optometrists, pharmacies. Over 3,000 of them you get access to with Unity Health's MediGuard product. Anyone can hop on of any age. There's no limitation to the age. If you're old, they charge you more. That's all. Okay, they load the premium is what they call it if you're old. But anybody of any age can come onto our MediGuard product. And it covers you and it gives you access to a whole lot of things. So first of all, it's going to cover the cost of your daily medical expenses. What are your daily medical expenses? Well, doctors, nurse consultations, some specialists. There's a few T's and C's around that, but go and look at that. Your acute medication. Acute medication is medication you get when you get sick. You go to the doctor, he says, take an antibiotic. They cover the cost of that. They cover the cost of that. It's absolutely amazing. Okay? Your chronic medication, you know, is one that's there, which you need all the time, like your blood pressure or your diabetes tablets, or where you're taking, that's chronic medication. They cover that too, but you just have to be with us for a bit longer. Then they'll start covering it. And they've got very specific ones that do. But your acute medication, the stuff you take when you get sick, they cover the cost of it. Absolutely incredible. The basic and emergency dentistry, they'll cover you for that. So your basic dentistry, cleaning, fixing, and emergency dentistry, they're going to cover you for. Some people want to go and like, no, I need my gold teeth replaced. They're not replacing the gold teeth. You know, but you know your basic stuff. Optometry, pathology, that's if you need blood tests and all of that. They cover the cost of that. Radiology, x-rays, things like that, cover the cost of that. Okay? And pre-maternity stuff. So if you're pregnant and you need some scans and that, as long as you get onto their program with their T's and C's applying on that, they're going to cover some of the costs of your pre-maternity too. You're getting all of this included in your MediGuard. How many of you have medical insurance? I would say 20% of you, because that's the national statistic. 80% of South Africans do not have medical aid. Okay, there's a lovely article in the newspaper recently where the ministers were moaning that they now have to pay that they can't afford to pay their lights and water. Okay? And they were saying, we have to maintain 2 residents, one in Joburg, one in Cape Town. Shame. Okay? And how many of you got 2 residents? Anybody else here? No? Okay. So they can't afford the rights and water. So the example that the minister used was, he said, I have to pay 10,000 rand a month for medical aid. And so the journalist said, why are you paying for medical aid? Why don't you just use the government medical facilities? And he started laughing. You can go and watch the podcast. He started laughing. He said, oh, that's a different discussion. But they want to nationalize the medical system. You know that, huh? But they're paying for medical aid so they can go to the private stuff. Okay, wow. Okay, nonetheless. 10,000 rand a month he was paying. Here it's a couple hundred rand. And you're getting it all done for you. Medical aid is incredibly expensive, as you know. All right, in addition, you get your accidental hospitalization and emergency care. Okay, what this means is that if you have an accident, 68% of the deaths, if you have an accident and you end up in hospital, broken bone, car accident, hijacking, mugging, shooting, murder, all of that stuff, you end up in hospital, they take you to a private hospital and you get private surgery, private health care, all covered by MediGuard. All covered. Plus the physios afterwards, the aftercare, medication, everything. Had a beautiful example this morning. This gentleman over here gave me an example. His mom's got MediGuard. She fell and broke her leg. They picked her up at her house in a private ambulance, took her to a private hospital, put pins in her legs, all the surgery, all the physio, all of it. It was over 200,000 rands worth of medical bills. Unity Health paid for the whole lot. For a couple hundred rand a month. In fact, what they said to me is that they will never pay enough premium to cover just the cost of that one incident. The amount they've paid will never equal how much they got out in that one incident. And they're one of many cases. I've got lots of folk around here that say they've used the dentistry option, they've used it, and they don't pay anything. Absolutely incredible, incredible service. And it's available for you. If you don't have medical cover, who will pay when you get sick? Who will pay when you get injured? Have you thought about this? Why are you just a DewPoint Enterprise owner? Why have you not got a product? Okay. And if you die, they'll give you 25,000 rand. Included in there. There's an accidental death benefit. If you die from an accident, they'll pay your family 25,000 rand. Just on top of everything else, they'll chuck that in for you. And then they've got an entire wellness program so that even if you're not sick, you can be using the product. It does all sorts of things. Pap smears, PSA screenings, vaccination program. I got that built in there. And 24/7 assistance for any medical things you want. It's all built in there. And none of you knew because you haven't went to the webpage and haven't watched the videos. And that's why I needed to do this. Folks, we need to see people taking our products. We don't earn more or less if you take the products. We don't earn. So don't think we're doing this because I'm going to earn more by you taking products. In fact, arguably I earn less if you take products. But I have objectives at DewPoint. And those objectives are to change South Africa's circumstances. And it means we have to re-educate. Because South Africans think insurance is a waste of money. They do not understand how wrong that statement is. When you've got medical cover, like our primary health care, you don't lose money anymore. You're then making money. Because when you get a 200,000 rand bill, you've just made a profit. You've been paying 589 rand maybe, or 600 bucks a month for this primary healthcare product. And then someone gives you 200,000 rand. That's profit. You've gained. You've moved forward. Do not believe for a second that you're wasting your money by buying insurance. All right. This is not a medical aid, ladies and gentlemen. I'm saying it one more time. People call and go, that medical aid product you have. We don't have a medical aid. Why is it not a medical aid? Because it doesn't cover you if you're hospitalized for illness. The 32% one. If you go to hospital for illness, you need medical aid. What's medical aid cost? 10,000 rand a month, apparently, according to the minister. None of us can afford 10,000 rand. So you're on your own. But that is the one little thing it doesn't cover. Everything else it covers. Everything else it covers. Alrighty. What are the waiting periods? Immediate cover after your first payment for accidental hospitalization. So once you've made one payment, if you get injured, broken bone, car accident, whatever, in the hospital, one payment, they'll cover you. Okay, awesome. And the wellness program immediately starts after your first payment. Okay, fantastic. 2 months waiting period, and you can start visiting doctors, dentists, optometrists, etc. after 2 months payments. Okay, not too bad. Remember we ran that special a short while ago, they got rid of it, but now it's back in. 2 month waiting period on that. 9 months for pre-maternity benefits, so you can't get pregnant for the first 9 months of having this program. After that, you can get pregnant, then they'll help you out. Optometry benefits after 12 months. You need to be with us for a year. Then they start covering you for optometry benefits. And your chronic medication is after 12 months. They've got a specific list of chronic medication they cover. Go and jump onto the website, look at the video, read the documents, and it'll show you what you are and aren't covered for. Absolutely amazing. Can you add your spouse? Yes, you can add your spouse. And you can add your children up to 21 if they're still studying, up to 25, but you have to prove that they're still studying. Okay? So for a couple $100 more, you can add your spouse and your children to your plan in this process. Absolutely amazing. Okay? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Remember, we're going to need proof of relationship in all of our products, ladies and gentlemen. Please do not call in and say, but the other insurers don't need it. They all need it. I've done some research recently. They're all now required. It's due to this new FICA regulation that's been coming through, and POPI and all sorts of things. We've been under more and more pressure. If you're going to put someone on a policy, you need to be able to prove that they are a family member. Full stop. Otherwise, don't put them on your plan, okay? So plan in advance. I keep telling South Africans this, and they don't listen. If you've got a product with a family member on it, before the person dies or gets sick, get their birth certificate, get their ID, get their marriage certificate. Take the time to get the documentation so that when you have to claim, you just go, there are the documents. And then there's no problem. Plan in advance. Okay, guys? All right, Heritage Life. This is our life insurance product. Life insurance is for young, healthy people. I'm sorry, it just is. And that's something that people don't generally understand. People think that life insurance is for anyone. They get to like 65, they realize they've got no pension, they've got no savings, and they go, if I die, my spouse is left with nothing, I better get life insurance. And then they can't get it. They can't get it. Why? Because by then they've got high blood pressure, they've had cancer, they're old, so it's too expensive, and it comes back and they either reject it outright or they get a premium of 15,000 Rand a month, and they can't afford it. So here's a pro tip from somebody who does this for a living. If you haven't got life insurance, buy it now. The younger you start, the cheaper it is. So the tables of life insurance work in an L shape. And the younger you are, the further up and left you start. And the premiums are tiny. Tiny, tiny. I did a whole lot of things here. If you're a 28-year-old female and you're single, if you're married, it's more expensive. I think you, John. There's obviously stress. But if you're a single female at 28, currently with the current rates, and they may change when you watch this video, but currently it's 220 Rand a month. 220 Rand a month for life insurance. And it stays cheap the rest of your life because you then work along this table. All these like L calcs. If you start up here, you stay cheap the whole way. So you're going to be paying maybe 5,000 Rand a month when you're 80 one day because you started now when you were 28. But if you start when you're 80, it's 50,000 bucks a month. Do you see what I'm saying? So if you're young, Heritage Life, do it now and don't stop, because if you stop paying, when they reinstate you, you start at a different point in the table because you're older now. So your premium's going to jump up to the new rate and it's going to stay more expensive. Okay. So start early and stay on it. Okay. That's what life insurance does. Now, what does life insurance do? It's different from personal accident cover because it covers you for death via anything. Whether you die from an illness, natural causes, or accident, it will cover you. That's why it's so much more expensive than personal accident cover. Okay. But the earlier you are, the younger you are, and you jump on it, you will get a very reasonable premium rate. Okay. And you won't be rejected. Because if you put in, I've had cancer and all this, is going to bomb you out and say, no, we don't want you. You can cover with Heritage Life anywhere between 250,000 Rand and 5 million Rands worth of cover. That's dependent on how much you earn. In terms of the regulation, we're not allowed to just give you any amount. We have to calculate it based on your earnings. So you may find you only have 3 of these options on your application form. It will be based on how much you earn. All right, and you have to be truthful about it because if they find out that you haven't been earning the amount you say, your cover will decrease and you will not be refunded the premiums you lied about. Okay, so make sure that you're honest with how much you earn and it will show what you can get in cover. The earlier you start, the better. It has a terminal illness benefit in it, in our particular life insurance. That terminal illness benefit means that you get to earn out of it even if you're still alive, which is crazy because life insurance is only when you're dead. All right, but now it's even when you're alive. What it says is that if once you've paid I think it's 12 months. I'll check with you what the waiting period is. But once you've paid with us for a while, if a doctor declares that you will be dead in the next 12 months from cancer or something like that, we immediately pay you the benefit. So while you're still alive. So cancer is a good example. You go to the doctor feeling ill, he finds you've got a tumor and says, listen, you've got pancreatic cancer or something like that, you're going to be dead in 6 months. That happens more often than you realize. It's very sad. I lost a friend like that recently. Absolutely fine. The one day, the next day, he calls me and he says, dude, I'm not going to make it to Christmas. And he didn't. Okay? So it's a scary reality. In that situation, the moment that happens, and the doctor says you will be dead in the next 12 months, we pay you the full benefit. Why? Because you're generally going to have incredibly high medical expenses over the next 6 months. You're going to need that life insurance money. And so we pay it to you. How incredible is that? Your spouse doesn't have to wait until you die, going into debt and suffering terribly until she gets the money. She gets the money, and maybe she doesn't choose to fix you. I don't know. But she gets the money, and you can be paying for the medical benefits. Listen, I'm in insurance. I've seen this. I know what the reality looks like. I mean, even at Dew Point, we've had a lady murder her husband. Okay? So I don't know what he said to her, but you do look fat in that dress. Monday morning, I have a claim. My husband has died. All right, eligible individuals, you've got to be over 18, under 65 to get cover. But it's whole life cover again. So once you're on, we cover you until the day that you die. Okay? And you've got to be, it's for individuals, not families. You can't add spouses. They must each take their own policy in this particular case. And as I said, life insurance is for young, healthy, active people. So take it while you're young, healthy, and active. Then you can keep it the rest of your life. All right. All right, waiting periods. Immediate cover for death via accident. We understand that now after your first payment. And illness and natural causes after 6 months. All righty. It does not cover pre-existing conditions. That's one thing I must mention about Heritage Life. If you have a pre-existing condition, it's permanently excluded. That's how life insurance works. That's why only 10% of South Africans have it, because you can't have a pre-existing. However, if you take it when you're young, you don't have pre-existing conditions. So when you get a condition, it's under cover. Do you see what I'm saying? Take it while you're young, all right? And then, yes, I was right, 12 months payments, and you get the terminal illness benefits. All right, so be with us for a year. After that, if you are declared terminally ill, we pay out. All right, now, it's got 2 extra cherries on the cakes. One of them is a premium reimbursement upon early death. If you die from illness or natural causes before your 6-month waiting period has died, we refund you all your premiums. We refund your spouse or your beneficiary all the premiums you paid to that point. So it means it cost you nothing. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if you take it out and you don't die from an accident, if you die from an accident, we pay you anyway. But you don't die from an accident, you end up dying from an illness in the first 6 months of having the product. We take all the premiums you've paid and we give them to your beneficiary. So they don't walk away with nothing. It hasn't cost you anything. Okay, that's the cherry on the cake. MotoMedic, our mechanical warranty. Mechanical warranty meaning that if something breaks in your car outside of normal wear and tear, we will help remove the shock loss. For those of you who own vehicles, super important. We give you 3 options. You can get the cheap version, the medium version, or the expensive version. What it means is the reimbursement you get per component, which is how this works, is just slightly different. You get less, middle amount, and more. It is available to all vehicles of all ages and all vehicles of all mileage, separating it completely from 90% of other mechanical warranties in the country. It is not, however, intended to make your old car new. So I had a lady the other day, she said, listen, I've got this car, it is fruit. It's been sitting in my garden for the last 10 years, doesn't even start. Can I take this out and they'll fix it for me? I kid you not, I was asked that, and I was like, no. It never covers pre-existing. Pre-existing mechanical warranty doesn't exist. You take it and what happens afterwards is covered by it. Okay. You get a reimbursed amount per component. What it means is that if it's going to cost you 10,000 Rand to replace your engine, they will have a set amount, which is in your policy document, that says, I'll give you 8 grand for an engine. So if the workshop says it's going to cost you 10 grand, you know that the mechanical warranty will give you 8 and you have to pay the last 2, okay, to have it fixed. It prevents shock loss. You know I'm not paying. Now, when I had Arthur from Insure Africa, who administers this product on the stage, he says that 90% of the time it's covering 100% of the cost. 90% of the time, he says, only in 10% of the times is the cost of the component more than what they actually pay. So you should not ever find yourself in a shock position with regard to it. It divides your vehicle into 2 plans, Plan 1 and Plan 2. This happens the moment you apply, and it never happens again. So the moment you apply for our mechanical warranty, it says, tell me how old your car is, tell me how much mileage. If it is less than 9 years and less than 250,000 Ks, you're going to plan 1. It's in the table. I've given you an example of what the table looks like in your policy document. You will find it in the document, and you'll be able to see then the list of components. You can see it on the left-hand side there, and how much they'll reimburse you for each component. Okay. If your vehicle is over 9 years and over 250,000 Ks, you're going to plan 2. But that's where you stay. So again, if you get your vehicle on the plan while it's young, it'll stay in plan 1 even when it's over 9 years of age, even when it's over 250,000 Ks. It doesn't move into the other column. Again, separating it from all mechanical warranties, or just about all of them in the country. That's why our products are always the best. At least that's what I think. More than 30 components covered. It's the biggest one I've seen in the country. It's the most number of components covered out of the mechanical warranties. The list is huge. Go and look at the policy document. Policy document is page after page of components and how much you can earn on all of them. Your premium is not calculated on your vehicle type. Remember we spoke in funeral, how they normally underwrite, like how old are you, where do you? The same with our mechanical warranty. It's one price for all cars. That's totally different. Everywhere you go, do you drive a Land Rover? Yes, 5,000 Rand a month. You know, do you drive a VW? Okay, 100 Rand a month. That's, you know, here it's one price for all vehicles. And that again separates us. No mileage limitation, no age limitation, and your vehicle doesn't have to have insurance on it. You don't have to have comprehensive insurance on it. You can take it as a standalone insurance on your vehicle, and it covers both mechanical and electrical breakdowns. Most just do mechanical. Again, the cherry on the cake again, and there's a couple of cherries on this one, is that it even covers wear and tear on selected items in your plan, which you can see in your policy document. Which is insane. Mechanical warranties never cover wear and tear. And this one will cover for selected components, actually cover wear and tear as well. The cherries on the cake are installment plan protection. What that means is that where your vehicle breaks down, and after 2 weeks they're still fixing it, they will help pay the proportional amount of your installment on the loan for that car. So what it means is that if there's 2 weeks left in the month and you've got a 5,000 Rand installment on the car, they'll pay 2,500 Rand of that installment for you. Again, it's outlined in detail, the T's and C's on it in your plan. So plan 1 or plan 2, you will see on the policy document, installment protection, they'll show you the amounts that they'll cover you for your installment. So go and have a look. I've made some random numbers up there. You just look in your document. That's incredible. You've lost your car for the month. They're going to help you pay the debt installment on it in a mechanical warranty. Absolutely incredible. And then the last cherry in the cake is the insurance excess payment, where again, if your vehicle is written off in an accident, like there's an accident, your car is written off, and there's an excess payment. You know what an excess is? With insurance, they're going to say, we'll cover your car, but the first 2,500 Rand you've got to pay. They call it the first loss. People are always like, no, you must pay first, and then I'll pay my excess. No, your excess is your first loss. You are responsible for paying first before the insurer will even pay their amount out. So you end up getting stuck because you don't have the 2,500 or the 5,000 Rand to pay the excess. Here, what they'll do, again, in terms of your plan column, it'll show you how much they will pay towards paying that excess for you. How incredible is that? All of that is in our mechanical warranty. If you've got a car, why don't you have it? AutoGuru, product number 8, we're nearly there. Product number 8, 7 additional services. You get 3 for being an enterprise owner. Medical, legal, road and home assist. Here, you get 7 more. For AutoGuru, absolutely negligible cost per month. You get 7 more products and services. What are they? Well, vehicle dent and scratch. We now can remove all the dents and scratches in your vehicle, chipped windshields, all of that. Repair of mag wheels and all sorts of things. Go and read the document and see all the things that it does included in there. I just recently did my mom's car. It's amazing. You rack up cost in no time for little things that they're fixing. All covered. All covered in here. Road accident fund assistance, reconstruction of the accident, loss of income calculations and representation at the road accident fund. All included in AutoGuru. Specialists to help you succeed. Pothole protection. If you damage your tire or your rims, there's replacement of tires, repair of rims. Go and look at the T's and C's on that. You've now got that. I mean, at the moment in South Africa, I mean, it's like playing ping pong. You've got a dodging, but you're hitting all of them, you know. That's what you're doing. Pothole protection, right there. Identity theft protection, specialists in getting your identity cleaned at the bureaus, sorted back out, identifying these people and processing them. Licensing for your vehicle's car disc. I tested this myself. I got my disc handed to my desk in this office. They came and delivered it to me. I didn't have to go to the post office, didn't have to go to the traffic department. My license disc renewed and put on my desk for me. Absolutely awesome. Fines, if you've got any speeding fines, parking fines, the specialists in getting discounts on those fines or having them completely removed from you. I was just talking to Rena a little bit earlier. She said she got a fine reduced by 50% for her by the Guru. 50% discount on your fine by the Guru. Sort it out ASAP. And then bail, an extra 4,000 rands worth of bail. If they need to bail you out of jail, they come and help you out as well. Now, you get 5,000 rand from having legal access. You got 9,000 rands worth of bail. So you can really get properly Pusa Thursday. Properly. And they'll come and help you out. 9,000 rand with the AutoGuru. All of that is included in our AutoGuru product. Absolutely incredible for those of you who own a vehicle. This is not an insurance product. It's a service product for you. It's available to all vehicles that are light commercial vehicles. So in other words, under 3.5 tons. Only one vehicle per product on this particular one. But it's available to both individuals and companies, which is awesome. Company vehicles can be insured under this product as well. No mileage limitations at all on it. 2-month waiting period. You got to pay two premiums, and then you're then you can use the services. It's not undercover. It's not insurance, but you can use those services. And your claims are limited to a maximum of 6,000 rand per annum and 3,000 rand per incident. So just keep that in mind. And then a minimum of 6 months between each claim, where you're claiming on things like dents and scratches, those sorts of services. I use the word claim loosely there. Alrighty, that's our 8 products. So I'm hoping that at this point you understand why we think our products are so valuable. If you don't, I'm at a complete loss. If you still think paying for insurance is a waste of money, there is nothing that anyone can do to help you. But I'm hoping that we have helped you this morning and that you understand that it's never a waste and that is part of being wealthy is protecting what you've got, preventing shock loss. So to add a product, and I'm expecting all of my enterprise owners that don't have a product this morning to be adding products. You simply need to open your app. All right, you got your app, you open your app. In the top right-hand corner, left-hand corner, just under your name, you will see what we call the burger menu. It's 3 white lines. Click on the 3 white lines. It will open up to your menu. Your menu has a section called Add a Product about halfway down. You're going to click Add a Product. I'm expecting you to do that this morning. So don't look around and hopefully nobody sees me, because there is no point in you not taking a product if you're a wealth engineer at 2 Point. In fact, most of you should have multiple products because you have multiple needs. I will bet you I identified needs you have there today. You should have multiple products with us. Once you've clicked that Add a Product, it's going to list all the products you don't have. If you have a product, like for instance, in this case, there's no AccessWealth. This individual already has AccessWealth, okay? If you have a product, it's not going to be listed under Add a Product. It'll only show the ones you're missing. If you open up Donnie's one, for instance, it'll be a blank screen, okay? There are none there to add, okay? All right? But if it's you, you might have a whole list. You then select the one you want by just push the one you want. Or if you want multiple, push multiple, okay? The different needs. Seriously, I'm not joking. These things are not thousands of rands a month. They're a couple hundred rand. Pick the ones you need. Click the ones that you want. And then it will take you to an underwriting process. But I'm going to show you first. Some of them will be simple underwriting. Like pick the one. Do you want 5, 10, or 15? Or do you want 20, 30, or 50? You're going to click then. You're going to just click with your finger the ones that you want. It's like when my granny, my mother tries to, like, give me your phone. What do you want? So the younger you are, the more responsive the app is to your fingertips. The older you are, the less responsive. I don't know why, but it's just like, it's not working. I get that from my dad. Okay, here, click, save. There we go, thanks. I don't know why it wasn't working. Anyway, so you're going to click with your fingers, pick the options that you want. On some of them, it may ask much more complicated questions. Like if you select HeritageLife, it's then going to run you through a medical questionnaire. But just keep going through the pages, submit, save at the bottom. Don't do it and not submit and save. Keep going at the bottom to answer all the questions. It'll be able to calculate a premium for you. You're not committed yet, so don't panic. Some people say, how do I get a quote on HeritageLife? Add product, HeritageLife, fill the form out, it'll give you the price. If you don't want it, cancel out. Okay? That's how you get a price. is by going through this underwriting process. Each one will be different. I've just shown you the FamilyWealth one then. Then once you've done that, go all the way to the bottom. At the bottom, you'll see a second from the bottom. It says your third, from the bottom, it'll say that's how much your total premium is. So if you've selected multiple products, it'll add it up for you at the bottom, okay? Then it'll say select a debit order date. I need to know when I must debit you for these products. You won't pay your $249 or whatever it is at the time for the enterprise option. You're not going to pay both. You only pay for the product or you pay to be an enterprise owner. Okay, so don't panic. People are like, I don't trust companies. I've heard them on the phone. I don't trust you. You're going to raise both. No, man. We only raise either your product payment or your enterprise option, okay? So don't panic. Select your debit order date at the bottom there for what it is. And then the very last one is the submit button. You must push submit. Now you're committing. Once you push submit, now you're committing to the premium. Up until this point in time, there's actually an X at the top right-hand screen. You can just X out and you haven't committed, okay? But once you've committed, these are the products I want. I'm going to pay. You push submit, and the product will automatically load into your app. The policy documents will automatically load into your app. Everything will be there for you. Now, what can happen? We might fix it by the time you watch this video. But what can happen is that your services that you had with your enterprise, those three, LegalGuard, MediGuard, and RoadAssist, they might go blank. So in other words, if you go into My Services and you look at the dial button, it's gone from green to gray, you can't dial it anymore. This doesn't mean you've lost it, okay? Doesn't mean you lost it. What the system has to do is it has to move it out of the one silo, which was enterprise, into the new silo that's insurance products, and that'll update that at midnight, okay? So just wait until the next day, and it'll go green again. But if you're in a rush and you need it to happen right now, because maybe now you've got a medical emergency or something and you need to call MediGuard, just log out of your app and log back in. It'll force the update on your app. Okay? All right. So don't panic if it goes gray. It's just updating, and it normally does it overnight for you. All right? Otherwise, log out and log back in. That'll solve the problem for you. All right. That's how you add the products. So again, ladies and gentlemen, our products are here for us to build and achieve our objectives. We want to change South Africans' lives. We want them to be income independent and in control. We no longer want South Africans to be a debt nation. We want to be debt free. And we want to prevent South Africans from having shock loss. South Africans have shock loss because they are uninsured, because they think insurance is not worth it. Insurance is always worth it. Wealthy people all have insurance. Poor people never do. Isn't that surprising? Whereas for a couple R100, you can be insured and prevent yourself from having shock loss. Whether it's having to pay for somebody else's funeral, whether it's leaving a legacy for your children and your family you look after, whether it's preventing yourself from having a car you can't fix, whatever it might be, medical expenses that come out of the blue, a couple R100 a month changes everything for you. Everything for you. Pick products. Do not be enterprise owners alone. Have a product. Have a product. Add it in your app. Add one, add two, whatever your needs may be. Pick them and go for it with us. Alrighty. So we're going to do some Q&A now. Always an opportunity for everybody to ask any questions. We won't be too long. Again, if you're in the chat, put the question in the chat. Let's get it answered for you. Is there anything pressing at the moment, having been through all of that? Anything that you go, geez, Brendan, I really wish I knew. Yeah. What's the answer? What's the question for you that you got here? HeritageLife. Life insurance, yeah. To 5 million, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, yeah. Can you take it up? Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can. So the question is, if my income increases over time, can I take greater and greater levels of life insurance? Absolutely. All you're going to do when that happens is you're going to call into our offices and we will adjust it for you in our system. All right. You will get a new premium though, naturally. If you've got more cover, you're going to pay more. But the earlier you do it, the better the premium is. Okay, good question. Yes, we had a question over there. Yeah.
When you got LegalGuard, you just going to have to refund the number.
That's right.
How you add it beneficially?
Yes.
Yeah,
there's a number of it. So with LegalGuard, you can add your spouse and your children to LegalGuard as well for an extra 25 Rand per month per member. And how do they get to the dial button? Well, the dial button there is for convenience. If you dial the button once, you see what their telephone number is. You can just give their telephone number to the other members and they can dial it from there. Alternatively, you can, if that's like your wife, they should have your login credentials for your DewPoint app so they can dial straight out of the app. Those are kind of the options we've got for you at the moment. It's a fair question. Yeah, good. Annette, yeah.
Can we have a list of all the family members who's allowed on FamilyWealth plan?
On the,
Not, I'm too old to have it, so I can't see.
oh, what's in there? That's a good suggestion. So Lynette has asked us to just put up a list of family members that you can add to your FamilyWealth plan so you can see it outside of the application form. It's a good suggestion. I'll see if I can get it. I'll add it to the web page. So you could say family members that can join, and there's just the list. Yeah, sure. Good suggestion. All right, any other questions on this? Yes, yeah, over there, yeah.
I like that you have that 1.125 million accident cover
Yes,
that I got, but it would be nice if my wife can also have it.
she can.
Can I add it to my
So if you are building with your wife, so you've got one channel you're building with your wife, if your wife would like, or your husband would like any of the products, they can take it themselves, either by saying, no one introduced me, so filling the application, no, or connecting to the person who introduced you. And then they just take their own that way. All right. Nice and simple. Very easy. All right, let's take a look here. I've got a few questions here coming through from the chat. Antoinette, on MediGuard, does it cover ears? All right, so I'm assuming you mean like sort of auditory sort of issues. I would assume if it's basic stuff like going to doctors and this normal specialists, the answer would be yes. The easiest way to answer that question would be to simply call Unity Health. They'd be able to outline it to you from the specifics. I don't know the specifics. I'm not an expert. But there is no exclusion for auditory treatment. So I think the answer is probably yes. Yeah, good. Yes, yeah. Shit, there we go. Give me your question. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah.
You said over 3.5 tons.
Over 3.5 tons. Did I have the wrong side? Okay, good. Yeah, it's good pickup. Yeah, we'll think it's over. No, it's light commercial vehicles. Yes, there was a question over here, but good pickup. Yeah. Okay, so the question is, how do I build with your spouse in the same channel? Well, you've got a W number that's been given to you, and you've been given login credentials for your app. Your husband just uses the same ones. So he uses the same W number, and he uses the same login. So he's using your app to add people, and he's giving people your W number, and you build together. Now, you'll see that in the app, you can put a known as field in. If you can't find it, just call client service, and we can change your channel to known as. It can be both your names. Peter and Mary. So that when you log into the app, it says Peter and Mary. And when there's an application form, it says Peter and Mary at the top of the application form. You see what I'm saying? So you just use the same W number. Yeah, to build from there. All right, any more product questions? Rena, you need MediGuard, huh? You could see there. All right. So Lunga, you asked the question, can AutoGuru fix existing scratches on my vehicle? No. Remember, insurance doesn't cover pre-existing. Insurance is always from the moment you take your insurance, from the day you make your first payment forwards. So no pre-existing on just about anything. Teresa, asking for someone, if one has a life partner of almost 7 years, have a child together, stating it on the birth certificate, but are not legally married, can she put her partner on the FamilyWealth? So no, you need to be legally married, or you need to have a recognizable marriage, like tribal marriage, things like that. So those will accept, but otherwise it's literally every Tom, Dick, and Harry, and it's impossible for us to really know. So the answer is no, you've got to get legally married. All right, make an honest woman out of her. Lunga, can AutoGuru fix rims without pothole damage? There is some rim repair under the dent and scratch, but it would mean that the rims would have had to be damaged after you made your first payment for AutoGuru, and then the dent and scratch side, which is Insure Africa, will have a look at it, assess it, and tell you if they can repair it for you. Okay, so Piwe, I need to know if I add member, I pay 25 Rand, 50 Rand for each member, funeral plan. No, okay, no. So Piwe, the 25 Rand addition for spouses is only for the daily benefits and for LegalGuard. Okay, they're the only two you can add a spouse or a family member for 25 Rand per person per month. All the others, if you add a spouse or a family member, they will calculate additional premium for. So for instance, with your FamilyWealth, you will need to pick whether you want 5 family members or 10, and there's a set price for those, okay? So it's only the daily benefits and only LegalGuard. All right. Helena, does any of the products include hearing aids? So again, Helena, you're going to ask Unity Health for that specific. Just give them a ring. They'll be able to tell you. Rodney, what if 2 separate wees get married? What happens with separate channels? Rodney, jump into our Wealth Engineer Code of Conduct. Have a read through it. It discusses what happens if wealth engineers get married. It is normally an amalgamation of channels. It's quite complex and it's very circumstantial. It will depend very much on your particular circumstances at the time, but the Code of Conduct does walk through that with you. So go and ask that question. All right. No more questions from anybody? All right, I think we've done enough time this morning on this. If you do have any further questions, where are you going to go? The website, training videos, FAQs. And if after all of that you still have a question, which I will be amazed about, you call client service, Monday to Friday. Pick up the phone, call them, they'll answer your questions or direct you to where the answer is. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I truly, truly hope that that has encouraged you to see the value in our products, and I expect to see all of you with products henceforth. I know your names. I have you all on video. I know where to find you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you out there.